Alright, so I got the one and only Precious for this documentary series you guys have been watching me work on for the past couple months. It's been some time in the making. I've been waiting to get her on my little platform, but here she is. So I got a few questions for her. So starting off, you're from Virginia, the 757. When did you make that move to Georgia, the ATL?
I came to Georgia in 2014, so I've been here for 10 years.
10 years? Okay. And how was the transition? You still contact people out in Virginia every now and then?
I got a family there.
Okay.
I have some friends there that I've known since like childhood, so whenever I go home, I try to spend time with them as much as I can.
That's good. Alright. How was your childhood and upbringing?
It was a mixture of fun. It was a mixture of me experiencing being a child, and then it was a mixture of trauma. So I got a little bit of everything in my life.
Okay. You want to elaborate? You just want to leave it like that? Okay, sounds good. I see you promote a lot of black empowerment on your social media, you know, especially on your Twitter and your Instagram. You're very, very outspoken on how black people are as a culture and a race. What's your future for black people as a culture now that we got Donald Trump back in presidency?
I think with people looking at how everyone voted and seeing that black women and black men weren't so far off with voting for Kamala, I think we're coming back around to how much we need each other. So I think once that realization settles in for the majority of us, we'll be headed in the right direction.
Okay.
Right now it's kind of stagnant because people like to believe everything that's on social media and not what is actually a reality. So if we can push what a reality is, more so of how we unify, then we can just head in that direction.
Sounds good. All right, so I'm about to take you back to memory lane for a little bit, and I just want you to reminisce back on your time when you were doing skits with That Boy Funny and Robbie World back in 2010, 2011, 2012, you know, and they was going a little viral. How'd you come to know those guys, and have they even been able to help you scale your Instagram page to where it is now with your following?
So the actual time frame was 2018.
Okay.
That was when I moved to Atlanta. I know it seemed like it was a little further back, but I met Robbie when I moved on Higher Street. I was staying in the loft. It was weird how I met him. He looked familiar, but then I found out who he was when I was trying to connect to my Wi-Fi, and his name popped up. So then I sent him a DM. It was kind of creepy, but I sent him a DM, and we've been friends ever since. Now, when we used to do skits, I was still learning about like how big of a scale social media actually is. So I didn't like the audience too much, but I enjoyed like giving them something to watch and something to laugh at. But he taught me, especially Robbie, he taught me a lot about how I can stay on topic or stay up to date with what's going on currently. And that's how I'll be able to push my content to reach a larger audience. So it was really him who gave me the tools to get to where I am as far as building my platform.
Okay. And That Boy Funny as well?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you were part of a project called Impatient last year in February. When can we expect more music coming from you?
That's a great question. I think right now I would just have to do it. So I can't even give like a time frame. I would just have to like really go into the studio, record something, and then just let y'all know that hey, this is coming out.
I mean, you got the vocals for it, so we just gonna be here waiting. You're very expressive in your posts about accountability and being a full functioning adult, especially on your Instagram stories. Where did that mindset of just calling people out and just really trying to like self-educate come from?
It came from me being a parent. So I'm curious about a lot of stuff, and I was wondering why when I had my son going through a terrible tooth stage, when I had my daughter, she didn't. And I realized it's because I changed my parenting as she got older. But as for him, the first child is kind of like a trial baby. There's really no guide to parenting. But as for him, I didn't change my parenting as much. So I realized, okay, I can't expect a child to grow and learn if I myself am not growing and learning with them as they get older. So accountability started with me. And then once I established it myself, I realized that a lot of things that go wrong in our life is because of us not taking accountability for what we allow to come into our life. Or everything's not in our control, but the things that are, we should take accountability for that.
Okay. So on first glance, going through your Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, some people would see you as a content creator, a digital creator, an anime lover, a singer, thickums, whatever you want to call it. I've seen all the comments, and the names just keep going up and down. What would your self-concept for yourself be? How do you see yourself, and what's your self-image?
I feel like I wear a lot of faces, and all of those faces are me. So I don't really have a box or one category that I put myself in. I think I am what I need to be at that moment. I am who I need to be or who I need to be.
Okay, I like that answer. Where do you see yourself 5 years career-wise and for your personal growth as well?
Career-wise, my customer service. So being that it's not as physically taxing, it's something that I want to focus on more. Also because it does give the mental health support that I strive for people to have, even if it's in a manner that people don't think makes sense. But once they experience it, they realize that it does. I want to take that to another level and actually get serious about it and expand on it. As far as what was the other part of the question?
Personal growth.
Personal growth. I just want to continue to try to be a better person. Like, how I go about situations, I want to go about it in a manner that's more productive. As far as, like, say I'm angry about something, I want to be able to express that without being so angry. Like, it's fine to feel all your emotions, but I want everything to be productive.
Okay. You mentioned once or twice on your social media about being diagnosed with autism. How has autism changed how you move, act, and respond in the real world?
Just made me more curious about everything. I think I get fixated on how humans act, so it makes me go back and question, okay, so why does this work the way that it does? Ultimately, it has helped me as far as accountability goes, because like I said earlier, I was curious about why my son had terminal disease or my daughter didn't. So it's made me think in a deeper sense on certain things, but it's also helped me to navigate why I think the way that I do or why I do certain things that I do, because previously I didn't know. So I'm just thinking like, maybe it's normal, maybe it's not. When I found out what it was, I was like, okay, so now that I know a little bit more about myself, I can deep dive into myself and figure out how to help others who may be struggling with certain things.
And just to pivot off that, you feel like your own self-discovery has helped you help other people find theirs as well?
It has.
Okay. You raised 2 black beautiful children. How is it being a black mom in America?
Thankfully, I chose someone who came from a family-oriented background. I also came from a family-oriented background, but he knows the importance of family too. So my experience being a black mom has not been super rough. I'm not saying there weren't any rough patches, but it hasn't been like, oh, my kids won't grow up and maybe one day be a rapper and say we were sleeping on the floor, nothing like that. So I'm thankful for that. So my experience as a black mom in America has been, it has its ups and downs, but it wasn't the worst thing.
Okay, that's good. I think this just goes back to the answer that you gave me earlier. What made you want to give a reality check and unprovoked advice on your Instagram story, which you already said, just figuring out everybody and just, coming to terms with yourself. What's one lesson that you learned in your 20s that you can share to people now that you're in your 30s?
Execute your ideas. So I would have a lot of ideas, and I think success comes from just doing it. So having a plan, you can have an idea, a great idea, but if you don't plan properly and execute it, even if you fail the first time, you learn from failure. So execute your ideas. Don't just sit on an idea and do nothing with it.
Okay, that's good. Why do you hold an obligation to your followers' mental health? Because I remember you used to do a wellness check on Wednesdays and sometimes Fridays as well.
I have it in my mind that I have people that I love in the world who have to live here. So if I can be kind to one person and change their mind about how they treat somebody else, that could potentially trickle down to saving somebody that I love in the future. Because you never know who is connected to who, or what one action can trigger either something good or bad in a person. So have it in my mind, like, if I care about what you're going through, then maybe you'll care about what somebody else goes through, and it'll be a domino effect.
Okay. And one thing, what would you have to say to, what's one or two pieces of advice, I should say, that you can give to black women in America right now?
There shouldn't be a blame game. We should focus on the good that we can offer and the good that we receive, and less on what makes us a victim. Because even though we are victims, and to an extent, we should live in our victimhood. That should be our identity. Because black women and black men need each other at the end of the day. I don't care how anybody feels about it. Whether you're in a relationship with a woman, in a relationship with a man, we need each other as a whole. So I want us to hone in on the strong people that we are, but also lean on the tribe that we have. So I don't want us to live in victimhood. I don't want us to feel like we're the bottom of the barrel because somebody says so. Don't let that be your identity. Like, you define who you are as a person, and you go with the good that you receive. Don't hone in on that.
So, to say that society and social media has pit men and women against each other, besides that answer that you just gave, what else could we do to, like, weaponize further division against each other? Because we do need each other as a whole.
I think if you have it in your mind, or if social media has convinced you that we are a certain way, change your environment to see different. Like, change the algorithm, not only on the platforms that you're on, but where you are in the world. Go somewhere new, like, be in a different environment. See that the love actually exists. See that a lot of things are propaganda, or a lot of things are pushed to be negative to us, for our mind to create that for our reality, and it's not. So go off of the good examples that you have in life, and find a good example and feed into that instead of feeding into the negative.
All right. Thanks.